Do I want to do Zillow? Not do Zillow again.
And welcome to another episode of the Dynasty Trades HQ podcast. My name is Michael Cipes, and you can find me on Twitter at FFBlitz. And I'm here with my partners, Jeremy Browand.
At Dynasty Madman.
And wait a second, and Shane Manila. Now, 2 weeks ago, while we were doing the opening, he was doing his dating app. This time, he's doing a real estate app while we're talking.
Yes.
And the dating app.
At the same time?
I'm doing both.
Do they have a dating and real estate app combined? That'd be awesome.
Oh my god, I'm gonna have to look that up. Like, would you date a realtor or date a chick or a woman, man?
There you go.
It's an
Oh,
available room.
Oh my god.
Or
no.
Anyway. So I wanted to share something with the audience because
Yeah.
I know they don't really see a lot of the behind the scenes stuff, and apparently neither do I. I was unaware. Apparently, Jeremy and Michael talk for like 30 minutes before the show about stuff involving the show. And
Oh my god.
it was enlightening being included in it for once. And I don't even think that, they didn't choose to include me. I unincluded myself.
Absolutely.
It was enlightening.
True story.
I probably won't ever do it again. But it was enlightening.
It was pretty funny. And it is true. Jeremy and I do a lot of talking before you show up. But it's not like we don't ask you. We ask you to show up. You just don't usually show up. So it was funny when we were talking. And then Shane's like, wait, are we doing the show? We're like, no, we're talking pre-show. And you're like, oh, I didn't have any idea.
We're talking about football-related stuff.
Yeah, but it was pretty funny. But yeah,
It was very, very interesting. I'm not going to lie to you. Very, very interesting.
That's awesome. So, hey, listen, actually, before we get into the news, which for a change, we have a lot of news to talk about tonight, but we do have some new sponsors now. We actually have 2 new sponsors that are debuting tonight. So before we go into the news, let's hear from our first sponsor, DeviWatch.com.
Devy leagues are the fastest growing form of dynasty leagues. Whether you're new to Devy or maybe you've played Devy for a long time and are just looking for an edge, DevyWatch.com has you covered. Do you need to know who will be a first-round rookie pick before the rest of your league does? Do you want that future NFL Combine star on your taxi squad before he blows up at the Combine? DevyWatch has Superflex Devy ranks, Devy ADP, and an annual DevyWatch guide to help you. The 2020 DevyWatch Guide ranked and profiled over 260 players. It includes dominator ratings, breakout ages for returning prospects, and if you play college fantasy football, they've got you covered there as well. Volume 2 of the 2020 DevyWatch Guide has tons of information about new college coaching staffs and how their scheme changes affect the college fantasy landscape. They also have team-by-team breakdowns for all 130 FBS teams. If you play college fantasy football, their CFF rankings will drop in July. Visit DevyWatch.com and check out the 2 membership options. Join today and gain access to their industry-leading content. Click Have a Coupon and enter the code DTHQ when you sign up so they know you heard about them on the Dynasty Trades HQ podcast.
I was just going to note, look, man, luckily for us, more me than you two. Well, no, we're actually probably more Jeremy
More
than
me
me.
than you two.
Well, me and you, not Michael. Fuck him. We got to see the Devy Watch since it was a hashtag.
Hold on.
Yes.
I was there since the beginning too, douche.
Yeah, I don't think you had much to do with it then. So, we saw it start. We saw the Devy Watch start as a fucking hashtag.
Yeah.
As an idea of how to kind of brand people to the writers, the Devy writers, pretty much the guys that have created the Devy Watch. We got to see it morph to that, to an awesome, no bullshit, not because they're paying us, but because it is stellar work, the best Devy guide in the industry, into a fantastic website too, and now still the best Devy guide in the industry.
Absolutely. You guys are doing
That's
great.
kind of cool, man. When people talk about like, oh, do you ever have any regrets, or what are some of the things that you really enjoyed from being in the fantasy world? That right there is one of those things that we got to see that thing grow from a hashtag to what it is now, and everybody over there is just an awesome guy. Or I don't think they have any gals yet over there.
Yeah, those writers are great. And Shane, we used to edit their work, and I still am because I edit at Devy Watch, and I swear to you, every one of the writers there has gotten so much better. I mean, it's cool to see the growth and the growth in their writing and just the explosion of their site, into what it is now. It is really cool because we've known all those guys for a long time.
We're going to be honest. I mean, Brad McDaniel, one of the owners, I don't know how to speak English, owners, writers, all 9 editors. That's the dude that taught me how to edit and was like,
yeah, me too.
He was like my daddy when I came into this industry. I was a little duckling, and
both of you guys taught me actually, but Brad at first,
that's
he
funny.
Was he was chewing up worms, spitting them into my mouth for me. So if you don't like me, blame Brad.
For me, I didn't have any of the writing or editing stuff, but I was commissioning everything. So I worked with them quite a few times to commission our Devy leagues that we were supposed to do.
We traded with those guys because they all wanted the Devy picks and the rookie picks, and they'd let the best players in the NFL go to us on our teams.
Yeah.
And so we were really competitive early on because they were punting.
Make sure let them know that we sent you, and this will be the last time. I think this will be the last time we go on to a 15-minute spiel about how awesome they are.
First of all, that was 3 minutes. It wasn't 15.
It felt very long. I got to be honest. Once I stopped talking, time.
That's what it is.
Longer.
See, that's what it was, Jeremy. When he's talking, it's fine. When you and I started to add a little bit, then it was over for him.
Yeah,
so
20 minutes later.
I gotta be honest. You two started talking, and I completely blacked out.
You always say you got to be honest, but we already know what's going on. So, all right. So let's go on to the news. Jesus Christ. We've got news, and and what's funny is some of this news is news, and then other news, it's not necessarily true. Like even the thing where it says only 2 preseason games, that's what was reported yesterday, and then today I heard differently. So what do you think's going on with the preseason stuff?
I think they're only going to have 2 preseason games. They don't really take them seriously, and they're looking at their young guys the first couple games, and the third game's like a dress rehearsal anyway. I think it's true, man. They've been talking about it for years, scaling it back and injury concerns and yada yada.
From a fantasy football perspective, what sucks about it, and what's concerning about it is all those deep sleeper guys that we love.
Right.
We love, you know what I mean? And that we get to hype up because, they ran for 60 yards in the fourth quarter of the third or the second preseason game that's meaningless. And then you get to flip them for a little something. We're not really going to have that this year. Like if you actually like a guy as a stash guy, you're going to have to just stash him on speculation. And
proactivity, right? Because you're not going to find in the old days, even we found Terrell Davis and we found Kurt Warner because of preseason games. They were on our radar. You're in the early days of, fantasy football or dynasty leagues, you're like, man, these are 2 guys I keep my eye on. And it happens year after year, but you're right. We're not going to have that. You're just going to have to hold on to players, already own them, take a shot without having tape or having watched them play at all, maybe.
All right, but wait, let me ask you something. I mean, to be completely honest with you guys, do you really care about those guys that you see play in week 3? Because you can say that. No. Listen, I get where Shane's saying about, you get to try to sell him at a high because he had a great preseason game. But for the people that really understand that stuff, really, those guys are nothing. And whether we see a preseason game or not, you're going to have those guys or not have those guys. And then either way, in week 11 and 12, when some running back is now the starter, everybody's going to scramble on their waiver wire to get the guy, whether he played in week 3 in the preseason or not.
That's the guy that people would have been on. Not me, because I'm going to be on him anyway. I'm a hog.
Okay, but I'm going to stop you right there. You're fine. You're saying you would be on him in week 2 or week 3 of the preseason, but in week 5 of the regular season, when you need to pick up the guy that's playing right now, you're going to drop that dude that you had in preseason. You're not going to hold on to him for 13 weeks. I guarantee.
I held on to stupidly. I held on to Ty Johnson until he was given a chance and he failed miserably.
Okay, so there you go. And I'm laughing
almost
because
a sense of false promise you get from watching those guys.
Exactly.
You hold on to them forever. Dude, I've done that with a lot of running backs.
But I'm laughing because Shane stuck his tongue out when he did that. That's why I cracked up.
We love these guys. You know we love these.
Of course we do.
This is what we live for, man. This is like Rihanna said. This is what we came for. We want those 7th round draft picks that clearly are never going to hit, but we're going to pretend they're going to hit anyway.
But are you going to like them whether they have the preseason game or not, is my point.
They ain't even going to have the tape. They're not even going to have the hype.
Right, but you're going to like them anyways. So
I will. I don't. But I'm not normal. I'm special.
You're not special. You think you are, but
The draft
so all right. So
probably scares us clear most of those guys, but it's. I don't really watch. I watch the highlights. I don't watch a lot of preseason games, except my team. I don't watch all the NFL teams anymore. So we get our information other ways. But
right.
It's significant that if they cut the preseason games in half. I mean that they've been playing 4 preseason games forever.
But I don't really think it's that significant. I would be perfectly fine.
Damn it,
well,
Mike.
you could say I'm wrong all you want. But how many people were so like, oh my God, they're not going to play the Hall of Fame game? Who watches the Hall of Fame game anyways?
That broke my heart.
Not me.
That broke your heart. Give me a break.
He said it broke his heart.
That's what he says. So all right. So the other thing in the news was that they were going to have no supplemental draft.
Well, that actually matters more to me because my dreams of Chubba, is it Chubba or Chuba? I never pronounce his name correctly, and
It's Chubba. It's not Chuba.
Chubba Hubbard. I feel for you. I love you. Chubba Hubbard.
Wait, that was Shaka Khan, wasn't it?
Yeah, whatever, but it doesn't fit there.
Whatever.
I mean, that hurts.
It may not be. I don't know. It just seemed like it was.
It was Shaka.
Okay.
Shaka Khan.
I think I saw her in concert at a roller skating rink in the 80s. So go ahead.
Probably. No, that hurts because that means my dreams of Chuba and what's his face, Travis Etienne are not coming out this year. I got to give up those dreams then, and I didn't even know that until right now. So I'm gonna have to verify that that's true. And if it's true,
it is definitely 100% true. I was driving around today, and on the radio, on Sirius, they said it at the top of the hour every hour that there's no supplemental draft.
Dude, I have ETN and Hubbard on the same team, a couple of the same teams. I wanted to start dominating.
God,
gotta wait for both of those guys even longer.
Wait, well, Jeremy, you're talking, but he yelled trade alert.
Trade alert.
What's the trade alert?
All right.
Here, let's scroll down on the sheet.
Yeah, because we are all over the place today, surprisingly. So, in a Devi Dynasty League with our good friend Scott Connor, who I have it on good authority, has got something coming out with someone you guys know.
Really? Really?
Jeremy,
something's happening. No, not me. Not me.
I can't say exactly. It might be making beef jerky. It might be fantasy football related. Maybe it's weightlifting competitions. I don't know.
I think I want the beef jerky part.
But anyway, so it's in his league, Debbie League, and the Run and Gun League. At least I think it's his league.
And I can't find it on the sheet, so go ahead and tell us what it is.
So on one side, we have Mr. Hubbard, because I can't remember how to pronounce his first name correctly. I don't want to disrespect him. So we have Mr. Hubbard. We have DK Metcalf. And on the other side, we have David Johnson Moore. Don't think that's correct. I don't think that's what DJ stands for.
Yeah, because if it's David Johnson, then obviously I want the other side. But if it's DJ Moore, then that makes a difference.
Fine. Okay, so the trade is DJ Moore on one side. Denniston Moore Jr. is DJ Moore.
Okay.
Denniston. I like that. I'm going to call him that. It's a nice name. Denniston Moore Jr. on one side. And on the other, we have DeKalin Metcalf and Chubba Hubbard.
First of all, Jeremy's making these faces that are hilarious. Don't worry about the sheet. He's telling us what it is. He may have just got it in his inbox while we're talking. But so so what do you think, Jeremy?
DK Metcalf, Chubba Hubbard, or DJ Moore?
Sure.
Sure what? What does that mean, sure? Which side? Hello, Jeremy, are you there?
I'm trying to figure out which side is Shane so I can not like his side.
All right, listen.
Also, I'm muting because my kids are running around upstairs making a ton of noise. Hold on.
Okay.
So, Michael, let's
yes.
try this. What do you think?
I will, I make jokes about Devi and all that kind of stuff all the time. But it's interesting. If your roster, if you definitely need a running back on that roster, I would take the DK side and take the Chuba side. If you're really stacked at running back and you don't necessarily need the running back, I'd rather have DJ Moore over DK Metcalf. But I would probably take the Chuba DK Metcalf side.
So let me
it just depends where you're at, because I mean, I could like both sides of that trade. I mean, DJ Moore is a wide receiver 1, and I mean Metcalf may be on his way to that at some point, but he probably isn't just yet. And wait on Hubbard and get him too. I don't think there's a losing side to that trade. I mean, it really would. I could see in my Devy leagues, I might look at it differently than others. So.
Yeah, exactly. And let me ask you guys something. For me, I always go with the player I like, my gut feeling, the things like that. But with DJ Moore, when you just said he's a wide receiver 1, everybody is drafting him and talking about him as he's a wide receiver 1. But that situation is different there. They have a new quarterback. They have this and that. We don't 100%
People are
know.
paying that. Yeah, exactly. People are willing to pay that. That's what they're expecting. Totally. That's
exactly. So if there is even a little bit of a question, then it could also influence what you would do with the trade. Now, Shane, who we've all known as like DJ Moore, and Jeremy, who we've all known as like DJ Moore, but there's still a question of whether the Carolina Panthers are going to be that team next year.
All right, here's a question to you, but yeah, here's the thing. So
I'm the only one. It's a question to me?
No. Look, I know I'm a DJ Moore stan, but and for the same reasons I brought up before, dude gets a ton of air yards, even though people ignore that for some reason because it apparently doesn't matter for him, but it matters for Curtis Samuel. So he gets a ton of air yards. He gets. I don't know. I just take Curtis Samuel in comparison to DJ Moore, so I feel like throwing him shade. If he ever listens, though, I'm saying
what about Robbie Anderson? But
sentence.
And then
but
there's
anyway,
Robbie Anderson.
My only point with DJ Moore is I think he is one of the most complete wide receivers in the league. He doesn't score touchdowns, and I really don't expect that to change. And if it ever does, if he ever has like a 10 to 15 touchdown season, he's going to be the wide receiver 1.
Right.
Teddy Bridgewater is going to hit him on, like the JB talked about this in the past. He's probably going to hit him with like 80 slants, just slants. There's going to be 80 slants. Besides what he does with the rest of it.
Yeah, DJ Moore's really good on slants, and Kyle Allen, who absolutely sucks, threw a ton of them to Moore last year. I can't imagine it gets worse.
Okay.
I would expect it to get better this year, honestly, with a more accurate passer and a guy who can actually, a smarter, more accurate quarterback in DJ Moore. That's going to be nice.
So, and that's ultimately what we do anyways. We all talk about speculation and what we believe and what we think is going to happen, but there's no exact science on any of this stuff. So when there is some kind of question, then that could also help in the trade. And especially if your team needs a running back, the speculation that Chuba is going to be awesome, you might want to go in that direction. So.
And if somebody thinks that Metcalf is, going to be an elite wide receiver, which, I mean, I think he is. He's on a team that maybe doesn't feature the passing game like you'd want from your wide receiver 1 there. But if you already like him and then you expect Hubbard to be a running back 1 when he comes out, which, I mean, there's a lot of ifs going on there.
Sure, of course.
And you're willing to wait, then I think that's a decent return for DJ Moore, but almost think that you could capitalize maybe slightly better with DJ Moore. The way, I mean, everybody loves that guy now, and everybody expects him, like you said, to be that wide receiver 1. But I still think it's a good trade for both sides. And Shane, you got DJ Moore, am I right?
Yeah,
or am I right?
Yeah. So you traded Chuba and DK Metcalf to get DJ Moore. And again, all of it is just speculation and what we think. And I think more so in a Devy league, then Chuba would have more value because it's a Devy league. So the other bit of news, which I don't know which one of you two guys just highlighted it, but it wasn't highlighted a few minutes ago. But it does say on our sheet, it says, the NFL is considering a plan to allow fans to come to the games after they sign a waiver promising not to sue the league if they contract COVID-19.
I think that's pretty crazy. And I mean, in these times, so much is new to us. It's like the Wild West, discovering the new world, all this stuff. We've never been through any of this before. It's interesting that the NFL is so into having the season, and they want to have it. We've talked about it so many times.
Sure.
They don't want to let that go, but they're willing to, have this plan where all the fans, season ticket holders, and all, everything, they sign to say that if they contract coronavirus, that they're not going to sue the NFL. I think that's really interesting.
But I actually think that's actually perfect. I mean, for the NFL to even consider having fans out there, the only fans that are going to go there, I would say the majority of the people, are the people that sit back and say, oh, this isn't as bad as everybody thinks it is anyways, So these guys are going to go out there and go to those games. So if they have to sign a waiver to go to it, they're not going to think twice about signing a waiver. They're going to do it.
The only problem that might run into is a lot of those folks might not know how to spell.
Well, but that's the other thing. Even if they do sign a waiver, there are so many lawyers and so many people out there that can get around waivers and all that kind of crap. Anyways, Look, I've always said I'd much rather sit on my couch and watch a football game than go to a stadium and watch a football game.
I don't go to one every year. It's fun to do that, get together with your buddies and go to the game, but I'd rather watch it at home. It's so much easier. I like the instant replay. The food is better and cheaper, and it's just better.
The food is better and cheaper at home than at the stadium? You think so, really?
It's definitely cheaper. Definitely cheaper.
No, I think it's probably better too.
I'm not gonna. I don't know. I'm gonna have to judge. I haven't. I'll be on my own in another month, and I'll tell you. I mean, if you get your mac and cheese and hot dogs.
Oh my god!
And ramen noodles better. Sure.
You're gonna go back to the days of 1986 in the dorms in University of Florida where I was, where it was all spaghetti and peanut butter sandwiches.
You're still going to be staying away from the $20 for a burger and a beer. I mean, that's
$20 for a burger and a beer. Yeah, Jesus Christ, living on my own again with child support now. Oh boy, $20. That's like 3 meals.
Oh my god!
I'm getting a case of ramen noodles. I'm getting generic hot dogs that are probably slightly refurbished.
Oh my god! You're gonna get refurbished hot dogs? That's disgusting.
And I'm not even going to get like Kraft mac and cheese.
Hot dogs.
Yeah, it's going to be like I'm proud. I don't even know what I'm going to get. I'm going to get whatever the cheap version of Kraft is. So,
okay. All right. Wait. Let's pull it back. Look, we have a whole bunch of trades to talk about.
Waivers. Yeah, waivers.
Yeah, but before we do that, we mentioned our new sponsor at the beginning of the show with DevyWatch.com, but we also have a second sponsor tonight too. So before we go into all the millions of trades that I'm sure most of them are Shane's trades,
I do have one already.
Oh, you do? Okay, cool. But let's hear from our sponsor, jazzsports.ag, which is jazzsports.ag.
By the way, we know many of our listeners are sports bettors, so we'd like to recommend a great sports book for you guys. Their name is Jazz Sports, and you can visit them at jazzsports.ag. They actually gave us a unique offer. All you have to do is enter the promo code DYNASTY, DYNASTY, create an account, and they'll give you a 150% free play bonus and some spins at their casino. They have live streaming, great customer support, deposits via MasterCard, Bitcoin, Zella, MoneyGram, etc., and same-day payouts. This is perfect for your UFC bets and the upcoming renewal of the NBA season. So check them out, jazzsports.ag.
That's really cool. So that's our second awesome.
Great alert.
Our second awesome sponsor. But yeah, okay, we do have a trade alert. We have a ton of trade alerts. So why don't we go to the first one? What is it?
So I'm not actually looking at the show sheet. Hold on.
You yell trade alert without looking at what you're going to say?
I got a lot of stuff. I got a lot of browsers open right now. I don't want to talk about it, okay?
Oh my God.
Let's scroll down. What's a fun one? Ooh, I know a guy that plays in apparently what is this, a kids league, a flea flicker? Is that right?
Yeah, if it's a flea flicker or sleeper, that's a kid. Yeah, that's a kids league. That's true.
It's not.
Yeah. On one side, we have Nicholas Chubb.
Uh-huh.
And on the other, we have Juju Smith.
Dude, are you talking about my trade? That's my trade. You have 12 trades on here for you to talk about it. You talk about my trade.
But wait, and I like how he prefaced it with kind of being backsliding, saying it's a kids league.
Dude, it's a 12-team Superflex. It's pretty competitive.
No, I'm not saying the league itself. I'm just saying you're playing it on no disrespect to Flea Flicker if they want to.
It's been on there for years.
It is so funny how many times we've crapped on shows on sites like Flea Flicker and Sleeper. We're very sorry, guys.
I mean, honestly, if they just pay, if any of them wants to pay us, I'll just say they're the best. Like, I don't care. Like, if NFL.com was like, here's, some money to say we're good, I'd be like, NFL.com's awesome.
They have the best leagues.
I would literally never play on the site, but I would just say they're awesome.
Oh my God. I would have a hard time doing that with Sleeper though. But yeah, hey, for me, it's a very simple which side I want. I would I'd much rather have the Chubb side than the Juju side. It's really funny with Juju. Juju's the kind of guy that everybody thought that he was going to be the next coming. He was going to be the greatest guy ever and whatever. And last year it didn't really show that way. But it is funny how many people still think that, this year it'll happen. And in this situation, we talked about it last week when I said I like Chubb. I would rather have Chubb than Juju in this situation without even knowing either one of the rosters.
Yeah. I'm going to disagree with you. The value is actually on the Chubb side, I guess, because right now Juju, people are all down on him like you because he had all those many bad years. Oh wait, one.
No.
Right? One.
Okay, so 1 year, fine, whatever.
He dropped, 1,300 yards in his sophomore season, and he's had one bad season, and he's still 23?
Okay, but he's also a wide receiver, which you could get a shit ton of wide receivers that'll get you the same production, and a running back is way harder to get the production that you're going to get out of Nick Chubb.
I mean,
I wish people could see Shane's face that he just made
his
at me.
expressions are classic.
No,
yes, I'm of the mind that Juju's going to be a perennial top 12 wide receiver, notwithstanding.
Do you think so, really?
The 2019 season. But it's definitely one of those. It's going to be my roster construction. If I need running backs and I can spare a wide receiver, well, then Juju's a guy that I would spare for Nicholas Chubb, even though I have fears about Chubb's workload getting eaten into by that Kareem Hunt guy.
What was Chubb's numbers even with getting Kareem Hunt?
They
didn't really decrease crazily, but they did drop.
4 of his worst games of the year came in the final 8 weeks that Chubb was there, fantasy wise.
You mean that Hunt was there?
Chubb, yes. So let's go back. Yes, Chubb.
4 of the 8 games that Hunt played in.
But you said when Chubb was there. You mean when Hunt was there?
Well, clearly I mean when Hunt was there. When Hunt came back, for the final 8 weeks, 4 of those games, of those 8 weeks, Chubb had 4 of his worst games of this season.
Okay.
And we've talked about it here before.
Right.
That the Browns have a different offensive scheme coming in. They were really shitty last year. Things were unraveling toward the end of the season. Their best players weren't really performing how you'd expect. A few things were working better than others. I think we can reset on that. Hunt's going to affect Chubb a little bit. Certainly, he's also Hunt going to be involved in the passing game, heavily, and Chubb really wasn't used like that much in the passing game. He's that 2 down, maybe 3 down, depending on the situation, banger. And he gets the yards after contact. I mean, the guy's a beast. The reason I traded for Chubb is because I had only Ezekiel Elliott and I have to start 2 running backs. I literally had nobody else. I traded Chris Carson away. It was need-based. I truly needed a running back. And I thought if I can get 2 or have 2 running back ones to plug in, I can afford to get rid of Juju Smith-Schuster because I have a lot of other receivers. The thing is, in this league, I think it's 1.5 PPR for wide receivers, something crazy like that. Like, receivers really score a lot. So it's a little bit closer than the 79% of the people in the poll thinking that Chubb was a win. I think it's a little closer, but I still think in the guy that traded me, Eric Olinger, who who traded me Nick Chubb for Juju Smith-Schuster, he's rebuilding, and he wanted a wide receiver to do that with, a young wide receiver instead of a running back. So that's just, by the time he's ready to compete, he thought that would work better. So it was perfect because I needed Chubb, and he's fine trading him. So as soon as he put Chubb on the trading block, I talked to him, and he said Juju, and I said he sent something else with quarterback swapping, and I just sent this.
And
tit for tat, one for the other, and he accepted it. I was thrilled.
I was going to say, for somebody like you, we know that you would like Chubb over
I like
Juju.
both guys a lot, though.
Yeah, but
I want both on my team.
Well, I know being in leagues with you that you would like that way. But even what you just explained, where you only had Ezekiel, then there's no question that you do this trade. You need another running back. And while we're doing this, Shane is on the phone now. I don't know what you're doing, Shane. You have the phone up to your ear.
He's calling Nick Chubb to see if he's okay with my trade.
Are you okay? He's muted.
Even if I didn't need Nick Chubb so badly, I improved my starting lineup.
No, absolutely.
Because I have a plethora of wide receivers that I can pick and choose from, and I was desperate for someone else. So having made that trade, even if I lost it on paper, I still would have won in my starting lineup because I'm plugging in a guy in a position of real weakness. So I was fine with it. I didn't expect the poll results to be so dramatic. 79% for Chubb, 21% for Juju.
Well, it is funny if you just look at ADP, or if you just look at what's going on in startups and everything. If you just go based on that, then you won by a landslide because Chubb is getting drafted in the first round in a lot of startups, and Juju, it's a little while after that. But all right.
Yeah, I just called Nick, and
is that who you were on the phone with? You were on the phone with Nick?
Yeah, he said that he respects Juju, and that's a fair trade. And if he was going to get traded for a player, that he hopes it would be a player like that.
That's hilarious.
Twice a year against him, he's fine though.
Oh my god! All right,
I like it. I'm good with it.
All right, cool. So we're going on to the next trade we have here, which has something to do with Russia. What is this? What? You have more to say about Chubb? You're the one who always says we spend too much time on something. We've talked about Chubb and Juju a lot.
I just like the respect that Shane just gave me. All these trades on here, and he chose mine for his trade alert.
No, I don't know that
awesome.
was. I don't know that was respect, dude. He started it off. He started it off by saying it was a kids' league or something. So.
I do respect him by letting his go first.
All right. Well, what's this next trade you got here?
I don't want to talk about that real quick. So I want to talk about Miles Sanders, dude. All the way up.
Yeah.
Sanders.
To 109 in July Dynasty ADP per DLF.
Yes. And you know what's really funny about that? I saw what was being tweeted today on Twitter, actually, where Ryan McDowell said the July ADP had Miles Sanders at 109. And there was a lot of reaction to it. There was a lot of people commenting about it. And so you've been talking about Miles for the last couple of weeks. Is 109 high enough or too high, or what is it that you're feeling with him?
To be honest with you, I think everybody needs it. And this just isn't looking at the other ones that are above him, like McCaffrey, okay, Barkley, okay, Elliott, whatever. Elliott shouldn't be a top 12 pick. Thomas, okay, fine, 104. Dalvin Cook at 105?
Yeah.
What? Are you fucking kidding me? No.
Well, see, and the Dalvin thing, I even found, I was actually talking to somebody, I think it was yesterday, about Dalvin, and they had no idea that Dalvin was doing the holdout thing. So there are people out there that aren't on the pulse of what's going on all over the place. And when you look at these ADPs, I used to run ADP for the website a couple of years ago, and people make their draft picks. A lot of times they're just making their draft picks based on name without knowing the situation, without knowing the news, without knowing what's going on. So a name like Dalvin Cook is one of those ones where people go, oh my God, he's there. I take him that high. I agree with you. I do not think that, I mean, look, you didn't finish, but there was still Kamara, Mixon, and Tyreek Hill before Miles Sanders. And, there's a couple of those guys that I would take. Go ahead. I'm sorry. You were about to say. Go ahead.
I don't know. It's just
the way you were looking, you wanted to say something. Go ahead.
Me?
Yeah, you.
Oh, I don't even I'm not looking at the screen, so I don't know if you're talking to me. I love Sanders, and I think that's way too high for Sanders. I think Elliott's too high. I think Cook is extremely too high.
Yeah, Cook is high.
What about Mixon? What about Mixon?
I want Sanders over him.
Okay.
I want Sanders over Hill.
Mixon is always too high.
Well, but that's so funny.
I think that guy is so overrated, man.
Chubb is 112, by the way. There was a point to this.
But no, but the point you just said, you just said 109 was too high for Sanders, but you just said that you'd have Sanders over Hill, Mixon, Cook. So that puts Sanders at 106, dude.
No. My top 12 would not look like this.
Oh, okay.
There's a couple guys that wouldn't be involved in here. Like Cook is gone, Hill gone.
But
Chubb, he's not 112 to me. I don't even think B-Hop deserves to be in the top 12, to be quite frank.
Well, I don't know who B-Hop is, but maybe D-Hop, yeah.
Yeah, D-Hop. I'm thinking of Bernard Hopkins. Excellent boxer, but he has no business being in.
Yeah, I'm with you on D-Hop maybe falling out of the top 12. But I could see Chubb going like just outside of the top 12, but I'd have no problem with him being in it either.
But that goes back to what I was saying to you before, where I used to run the ADP. There's a lot of people that do ADP. They just do it and then just click names. You know, they're not really thinking exactly about the players. So when you talk about your rankings based on ADP, there's definitely going to be a difference. And there's a lot of people that only look at the ADP without knowing what's going into it. So if you're saying that your ADP or your ranking would be different than your ADP, what would it be then? What would your top 12 be?
Well, first of all, DJ Moore needs to be in there somewhere.
Okay.
That's just ridiculous that he's not. I don't know. I have to go through it, but I know at least 3 of these guys would not be in that top 12. And as much as I love Miles, you know, look, if it was a choice between one of my children and Miles, depending on how they're acting that day, you know what I mean?
You have said quite a few things on Twitter lately about your children.
Look, I don't want to put it out there, but they are fucking bad lately, man. They're rebelling. So anyway.
Oh my God.
Anyway. Sorry, I'm looking. I'm trying to focus, Michael.
I was the one to ask you. Go ahead. What's your ranking?
So I have no idea, but so what I did is last night before the DLF ADP came out, and I didn't know it was coming out.
5 hours ago.
Informed me. Yeah. He didn't inform me of that, and I'm gonna have to talk to him about that. But,
well, you are a junior member, like you said at the beginning of the show.
So I was just looking at some of the trades, and I tweeted them out, like on the DLF Trade Finder. Give up Miles Sanders and Jerick McKinnon, which is a body part.
Sure.
And get Jordan Howard, Denzel Mims, or Juju Smith-Schuster.
Wait, where are you now? What are you talking about?
This is a tweet. I'm reading it off to you.
Okay.
Miles Sanders. This is the type of trades you can make. You could get Miles Sanders. You could get Juju Smith-Schuster, Denzel Mims, and Jordan Howard on one side for Miles Sanders.
I'd rather have the Miles Sanders side.
Okay. In a super flex league, you could get Matt Ryan or Miles Sanders.
Oh, that one would depend on your roster. You know, if I'm sitting there with only, like a lot of my rosters, only Jameis Winston and Phillip Rivers, I would be doing that trade.
You'd rather have Matt Ryan.
Yeah. So that would depend on the roster, but go ahead.
Another one on here. We got Miles Sanders for DeAndre Swift, Denzel Mims, and a 2021 second rounder.
Well, that would be a rebuilding team, obviously. A couple rookies and a pick.
Swift and Mims and the pick.
Yeah.
That's just you know, and that's why I put it out there. Like I love Sanders. I absolutely adore him. I think he's going to be great. I think he's going to be a top 12 running back easy next year. I still think you're selling him. And then honestly, that's any running back outside of probably CMC and Barkley. I'd sell any of those guys if I could tier down. If I can move from Sanders to Swift and pick up Denzel Mims and a couple picks too.
Oh, definitely.
That's hard to turn down. I'm not going to lie to you. So I don't know how you. I mean, Jeremy clearly agreeing with me.
I still think it's interesting. We've talked over the years about the perception of what could happen as opposed to what has already happened. And it depends on your roster. It depends on whether you want to win this year or if you care about 2 years from now or 1 year from now. You know, if you have a team that is clearly better right now that could win it all, then I'd rather have the Miles Sanders side on that roster than to have a rookie and a pick for next year. Who cares? But I also agree with you, especially on running backs, whether it's wide receivers, that's a different situation. But with running backs, there's these guys that have this very small window of whether they're going to be productive or not, you know?
Looking at that first trade too.
Yeah.
You could get Denzel Mims and Juju Smith-Schuster from Miles Sanders and throw in Jordan Howard, who, surprise, surprise, is probably going to be a running back too this year. I mean, that's that's a pretty good low key package right there.
It is.
If you could pull that off, that'd be amazing.
But the problem I would say about that trade is that if you think you could pull that trade off, then yes. However, the fact that Miles Sanders is so in demand right now, I think you could get better than Mims and Jordan Howard. If you really want to move him, I think you could get better than those two guys.
Yeah, which that's kind of, that's why I'm feeling like it might be a good time to move him. Look, like I said, love Sanders. It's just how does he improve upon 109?
Well, that is true, but also we always say it comes back to what you have right now and whether you want to win now or later. I want
to win always.
I know we have a bunch of trades on here, and we have a bunch of trash dynasty trade offers, which we haven't talked about in a while.
I'd love to hit this dynasty trade trash shit. Garbage offer.
It's called trash. Wait, was it always trash dynasty trade offers? Was that the hashtag, or was it?
Yeah, pretty sure it was dynasty trash.
Trash dynasty trade offers.
Was
pretty sure Jeremy's just changing it now.
I was going to say we've
always been
we've been saying it for 2.5 years now, and I agree with Shane that it looks wrong, but maybe
if someone could go ahead and listen to any of our first 120 episodes or so and let me know, that'd be great.
I mean, you could take the S off of it and make it singular if that's better, but it's always been trash dynasty trade offer.
So I'm going to say, I'm just going to put this out there.
Go ahead.
I am going to bet $10 to, let's not be too cheap, $25 to a charity of Jeremy's choice.
Oh,
if he is correct.
Jeremy's face just lit up. That was so hilarious.
It's a test.
So if he is correct, I will give $25 to a charity of his choice.
Correct.
So what is the trash dynasty trade offer actually?
Who determines whether I'm correct?
Sorry, that's the point of this show. That's right. So on one side, we have Christian McCaffrey, Mr. CMC. And on the other side, this gentleman apparently felt like, hey, this is a good package for you to take. He offered... I guess I'll start with the best player would be Anthony Miller.
Right.
Yeah. Then John Brown, Alshon Jeffrey, Julian Edelman, Carlos Hyde, and Devontae Freeman, who does not have a job.
Too.
Oh, Chase Claypool. Forgot about him. I apologize. So on one side, and I'll just read it off in the order that it's on the page now. Devontae Freeman, Carlos Hyde, John Brown, Chase Claypool, Julian Edelman, Alshon Jeffrey, Anthony Miller, for Christian McCaffrey.
You're getting all that good stuff for Christian McCaffrey. The trash is all the stuff for Christian McCaffrey. Are you kidding? There's not like one good thing in there. It's a bunch of stuff. Come on. It's like it's like a trash bag for Christian McCaffrey.
It's literally a trash bag. It is just a trash can, a living trash can coming to attack you to get your Christian McCaffrey.
Give me that delicious sandwich over there. I'm going to give you this bag of trash.
And that came from my dude. We're in a league together. I'll just shout out his first name, Justin. We're in London Silly Nannies together. And I think he just in that DM thread one day shout out like, hey, what exactly do you do with this? I said, well, you send it to me and you let me make fun of him on my show. So whoever sent Justin that trade, you are bad. You are a bad person for doing that. You might not be a bad person. Let me clean that up.
I was going to say, they may not be a bad person.
But that is a horrible thing to do. You should do better. You should feel bad about yourself. And you should probably talk to your family and let them know that you did that in case they ever find out on their own.
Come on, man. Carlos Hyde has 5 months left to play. You're not thinking about that, are you? Chase Claypool, he could be the next. He'd just go on and on about why that side is the best, and I should send him Christian McCaffrey.
Let me say something though. There's a lot of people that make trade offers. They may not feel bad about themselves because they make the trade offers. We've talked about it for years that everybody has different values. Obviously, the value of that pile of crap is definitely not worth what Christian McCaffrey is, but I don't think they need to personally feel bad about themselves.
No. And normally I'd agree with you. I'd be like, look, whatever, it's fantasy football. Don't feel bad about it.
Exactly.
Now, this dude, if he's listening, he should feel bad.
No.
Based on this trade, he's the guy that you go back and say, man, that is not enough for Christian McCaffrey. Not even close. Well, throw in Deshaun Hamilton.
Oh, how about Timmy Patrick? Can I get Timmy Patrick?
Oh my God!
Do you have any KJ Hamler I can get?
While
we're at it.
Hey, I hope KJ. Yeah, Jeremy likes KJ. I like him. I liked Hamilton's story. I liked at the draft. I liked his story, but so we did have. There was a piece of news that we didn't talk about that involves some of these trades that, I mean, we talked about a lot of peripheral stuff with the NFL, but we didn't talk about the biggest thing that happened, which was...
fancy. He's a peripheral.
Oh, that's being fancy.
Throw that out there.
Hey, listen, I'm not a writer like you guys. I'm just a talker, but
the optics on this really don't look great, and I don't know if it's germane to the conversation, Tom.
But we totally didn't talk about freaking Cam Newton going to the New England Patriots, man. I mean, we're like, what, 3 hours into this show? We didn't even mention Cam.
Where did Cam Newton go? What?
How much time have we done this show? Because we're going to need to wrap this up soon. We're going to do a patron show.
Yeah,
if
listen.
you're not a patron, I don't know what to tell you, dude. Like, everyone that's a patron just about has tweeted out and been like, it's fucking awesome being a patron. Like, not just us. Like, it's one thing when I tell you that. Of course I'm going to tell you that. I want you to fucking join. But the people in the patron, people that are our patrons, they get the extra podcast, they get the uncensored podcast, they get the group me chat, that, some of them get the one-on-one consulting, they get my personal number, whatever.
Our Patreon, it has grown. It is bigger now than it's been in the 2.5 years that we've been going. So it is true. Our patron, we love our patrons. They're awesome. So yeah,
I'm not gonna lie to you. And I used to joke like, oh, I hate everyone else, but I love our patrons. No. I truly mostly don't like most of the people that aren't our patrons.
All right. But it is true. Our patrons are awesome, and please join our Patreon. And you look, between Jeremy, Shane, and I, Shane lives in the group me chat on Patreon. If you ever thought that you wanted to just talk to Shane 24/7, then you need to become a patron because
first you need to talk to a professional to figure out what's wrong with you. But anyway,
but Shane is in there 24/7. So yeah, all right.
Back.
You're right. Let's talk about Cam. Let's talk about a couple of these offers, and then we'll wrap it up and go to the Patreon show.
I'm gonna say we talk about Cam and then we wrap this shit up. They got like an hour out of us, right? Like an hour.
No, Jeremy, it goes back to the beginning where Shane never was in a pre-show with us, so he feels like we've been doing this for hours.
That counts. I'm sorry. Those 30 minutes count towards the show.
But it's not in the show. But yeah, so what do you guys think? Look, what's really funny about Cam is even after the NFL draft, they didn't draft anybody. So every expert, every guest we had, a lot of people said, "Oh yeah, well we'll have to wait to see what happens with Cam because of COVID. He can't get a medical test or whatever." But a lot of people thought he was going to go to the Patriots. So over the last month, there's been startups and things that we've all done where Cam has been drafted, but it's always late. Now, all of a sudden, he gets signed by the Patriots, which is what most people thought, and then everybody starts freaking out with trades. So what do you guys think? Do you think day one, if we thankfully, hopefully, whatever, have a day one, is he going to be the starting quarterback on day one?
Yes.
Both of them said yes at the exact same time. So then his value right now should be high enough that a lot of these trades that are happening should be correct.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So tell us about some of these trades.
Well, I don't know. I only looked up mine. I got one offer and moved on. You can go onto not to pump any site, but you can go look up trade calculator, or not calculators, trade finders.
Yeah. Wait, that didn't make any sense at all. Where can you find this thing that you've talked about? Because I actually want to look at it too.
Oh, it's on Dynasty League Football. Just for quick though, if you sign up for it, make sure you tell them that you found it through me. I don't know what I probably don't get nothing out of it, but just do it. Be like, Shane's awesome. Do that too. Also, just email DLF and be like, Shane's fucking awesome, and that's it.
The junior Shane, he's awesome. All right, so
dude,
what?
I got Cam Newton for $1.5 million, like a day before he signed with New England.
A day before?
$90 million auction budget. Salary cap of $90 million. I got him for $1.5 million as my backup quarterback.
Literally the day before?
Yeah.
That's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
That's a good deal.
Within 30 hours, something like that anyway. Like about, 1 day.
In a league that I'm in, where with a $1,300 salary cap, my friend Dynasty Greg that we've talked about, he got Cam for $2.
Right?
In an auction, he got Cam. It was a month ago, but he got Cam for $2. So he's thrilled.
That's a good deal.
But so what are some of these trades that you have here, Shane?
There's literally just one freaking trade. There's an offer I got.
Well, you have it up here with like three things. Oh, I see. It says proposal, rejection, proposal.
Yeah. So literally, the initial offer was I was offered Cameron Newton and a 2021 second and a 2022 second for Miles Sanders.
Okay.
Which I rejected.
Yeah.
Henceforth and with aggression.
What's so awesome is the final trade is so different than that original one.
So I was like, no, but I'll give you Naheem Hines and a 2021 second for Cameron Newton.
I love how Cam's name changed 3 times. So what happened?
So that gentleman responded back to me, hey, I don't know if you've heard, Cam Newton has signed in the So
if Shane has not heard.
So then I emailed back, yes, this is true. In case you have not heard, Miles Sanders is a top 12 running back.
Oh, so wait a second. So this wasn't the end? You guys didn't
we didn't
do
make the
anything?
trade. We didn't do it.
Oh, okay.
This was not consummated. This was like, so this was kind of like, never mind. We didn't consummate it. We'll just leave it at that. It wasn't consummated. There was no trade accepted. There was no trade alert that popped up. You know what I mean? Like there was 9 months down the road.
Oh my God. No. Okay, come back. 9 months consummated. Okay. All right. So then what you're saying is we don't have a Cam trade to talk about.
We don't, but I mean, there's plenty of them out there. I mean, I've seen, a couple in the patron chat. I think there was one that involved, Tyrod Taylor and a 2021 first and a 2022 second.
Oh my God, I would do that.
That's exciting.
You know what's really funny?
I like Cam a lot. I'll buy him cheap, but if you're giving me first and seconds, I'm gonna go ahead and sell.
Even if it's 2 years from now, because you said a 2021 second and a 2020 second first.
Well, no, I mean...
So that's 2 years from now.
Oh, well, I don't know math. Why are you getting all on me? So this was the trade. So this is actually one of our newer patrons, and he's an Australian.
Yes.
Which I think it's cool because, they don't speak English. They don't speak American.
Australians do speak English.
They don't speak American.
Do. No,
so,
they do.
We're learning together. They speak Australian.
No. No. They speak English. Yes.
I just assumed he was using Google Translate in the group me chat. But anyway, Daniel, what's up, buddy?
Oh my God. No,
he got an offer. He drafted Cam in the 22nd round in a startup.
Oh my God.
A couple weeks back. So he just got an offer of a 2021 first and a 2021 second for Cam Newton and Jordan Howard.
And did he do it?
I would take that trade.
Did he?
I don't know. I'm gonna ask him. He's probably sleeping because also Australia doesn't recognize Earth time.
No, they don't.
They don't recognize. They have no respect for Eastern Standard Time.
So wait, Eastern Standard Time is considered Earth
time? They think they're a country and a continent.
I think they're like 4 days ahead of us.
Yeah, so it's actually this trade. Yeah, he might have already made this trade. The NFL season might have already started in Australia. I'm not really sure how that works.
You know what's really great? I just we talk a lot of times about pulling things up while we're talking, but I just pulled this up with the countries that listen to our show. We have over 51 countries that have downloaded our show. We have people, I'm looking at it right now. We have people in Bangladesh, in French Polynesia, in
yeah, that's my buddy. No, I don't know.
It is amazing, and we love all of you guys all over the world. I just pulled it up. It's just so cool to see the different places around the world that download our show. So, hey, listen, if we don't have any other cam trades, why don't we do what we said? Let's wrap it up, and then let's go to the Patreon show, and we'll talk about a couple of these other things that we have on the show sheet. So,
yeah, so if you're not a patron, go be a patron. Patrons are awesome.
Also, go check out our iTunes account at Dynasty Trades HQ. By the way, we are just about ready to hit 200,000 all-time downloads on our show, which is pretty amazing. Yeah, I'm on Podbean right now. I'm looking at it. So within the next couple of days, we're going to hit over 200,000 downloads. And, we love you guys. It's so really cool. So, yeah, go check out Dynasty Trades HQ on iTunes. Check it out on Twitter at Dynasty Trades HQ. Hey, and wait, Jeremy, we got an amazing response from last week from our new logo and everything, correct? So what's going on with our store?
People love the new logo, Mike. Shane, too. I mean, they absolutely perfect choice. The guy that designed it for us, we're so happy. And yeah, the store, dthq.storeenvy.com, dthq.storenvy.com, and get you something. Get you a t-shirt or a mug or whatever, man. It's all got the new logo, and it's all pretty sweet.
I want the hoodie. I need it today. I need it now.
I bought a black muscle shirt. Because I'm getting pretty cut now.
I love Jeremy. I was talking to Shane on the phone the other day, and he was walking, but he was wearing a weighted vest, and he was very out of breath when we were talking. Yeah,
man, you start traveling up them hills with a 20-pound weighted vest on, man. You're like, I should probably just turn around and go the other way.
Yeah, like a 10-pound beer belly. Is that...
Well, unfortunately, I had the same. So
yeah,
I got to wear the vest to try to get rid of the beer belly.
I'm sitting here with the beer belly. So, all right, cool. Well, thanks everybody. We love you guys, and let's go do the Patreon. Don't say Matt.
Most of y'all. No, that's not even true. There's like a small percentage.
We'll see you next week. Thanks.
Say goodbye. Say goodbye, Shane.
Bye, everybody.
All right, cool.